Hello everybody. Thank you for joining today's session. We'll be starting just in 30 seconds to 45 seconds. We'll have some more attendees join in. It's a very popular webinar, it looks like. A lot of people have joined today. So just give me another 45 seconds before I start the session. Thanks. Okay everybody, I'm just going to start right now. My name is Nilesh Patel. I am the founder and CEO of LeadSquared. I've got a low voice today. I've got a little throat infection here, so if you cannot understand me properly, I want to apologize for that up front. But I'll do my best to convey what we're going to cover today. So today's topic is about what are the lead generation offers we can create, and what are their best practices for the marketers to generate leads. So this is what we're going to cover today, a quick index of stuff I'm going to talk today. So so I'll just give you an overview of lead generation formula, more applicable for online lead generation. And then we'll talk about the 11 lead generation and marketing offers and their best practices, relative cost for creating each offer, and then with the channels we can use to market these offer for lead generation, and and a thank you note basically. So this is your lead generation formula. So you got audience there, right? So we want to collect leads from our target audience, right? We don't want to get leads from anywhere. We are only interested as a marketers to find leads from the target market we are interested in. So that's the first element. So you need to identify the target for the marketing offer. Then we're to create the offer which makes sense to that market, and the offer is such that your audience is willing to trade their contact information. Otherwise, how we're going to generate leads? So that's important. So that's so whatever the offer we have should be of enough value that our audience is willing to trade their contact information. Then we need to take the offer using certain mediums, which are marketing channels, and take this offer to the appropriate audience, right? So that's your channel. So this could be in the online world, all kinds of ads, organic search, website, everything of that type, right? Facebook, social media and stuff. And then we figure out a way to capture that lead, and while capturing the lead, we are also trading the offers. We're giving the offer to the lead because that is the primary reason why they have signed up with us. And then after you capture the lead, you basically get the lead. So that's your high level or simple lead generation formula. Now, quickly, what is a lead generation offer and what it is not? So an offer, a marketing offer that is perceived as value by your target audience, right? So whatever we are offering to our target audience, they need to perceive the value from that offer. It in some ways addresses their business problems or has information which will help them achieve their business goals, right? Or individual goals if we are talking about B2C businesses, right? And the offer is compelling that the audience is interested or willing to trade their contact information in exchange of taking the offer. So there is a reason why the offer will be taken if it is compelling and useful to the target audience. What an offer is not, what is not a lead generation offer? Company product or service related document or a brochure. In most cases, I would say case studies are also not a lead generation offer because customers would typically want to learn that about your business, this information about your business enough before they really give any contact information for that. So case studies in most cases won't be considered as a lead generation offer. So you should have it, you should provide that as it is without trading the contact information for that. Now, how offers help you generate lead? I'll just give you a quick few steps on as an example. So let's say this is the LeadSquared's homepage. If somebody visits the homepage, they see an offer which is try it free, our product offer, which free trial is one kind of offer. Then there's a call to action, obviously, for the visitor to take the offer. So there is something which tells the visitor here that okay, I need to. This is the this offer they want to take. Then the offer is the visitor is taken to a landing page where we're asking them to share the information in for taking the free trial. So they do so, and then they submit. This is a form here. So when they fill the form, we get the lead and we deliver the. So this is what we got the lead here, and the lead is send an email on how to start the free trial. So basically, this is a simple mechanism of how we can generate a lead using an offer. Now, the mechanism may be different in some cases, but you can see the broad idea of this is how it will basically work. Now, 11 marketing offers, which we're going to talk today and cover their best practices. So, blog is a kind of offer. Now, blog can also be considered as a medium in some ways for collecting, for driving traffic to the website. So in some ways it is a medium also, but blog itself, if somebody subscribes, become an offer in its own type. So blog attracts subscribers. So but naturally, when you write blog, you get subscribers. You basically get visitors, and if they like what you're writing, then they attract subscribers. One important thing is one should produce content in the blog which is perceived as high value by your potential visitors or subscribers. One thing which to note here is it doesn't have to be original. It doesn't mean that it has to be copied from anywhere. I mean, that also is a bad practice. But there are a lot of things out there which have been written by various writers, but you can always improve upon them or collate multiple writers and prepare sort of an article which is of value to your end subscriber or the audience, right? It's a great way to generate traffic to your website. It definitely gives a boost to your brand if your content is high quality. And blog readers get the opportunity to comment on your articles. By virtue of that, you also get to know them, and they potentially become your lead if you're using certain plugins for that perspective, right? So now what are the best practices here? Simple practices. First and foremost, you need to make sure your blog has a visible subscription button or an email opt-in form, as you can see here. You need to make it easier for people to share the blog. So the link of your blog goes, so you gain the traffic for the first part, and when the traffic lands on your blog, they use this element to convert into a lead, right? Other best practices include, if you already run a blog, you should be able to capitalize on the traffic which comes on blog using other relevant offers on the blog post like this one, right? So you have this article about Google and their new search result page. At the same time, we are offering a guide here, which is a good offer which is relevant to somebody searching around Google stuff. Then using the top bar, so using other elements. I'm not sure how many people have noticed this, but I'm sure you would have seen a lot of websites where you would see a top bar coming from the top of the website area. And it's a great way to convert visitors to lead. So if your website has any visitors coming on it, even it is 20, 30, or 40, and if you have some offer out there which you can potentially put on, please use the top bar. It offers substantial value because you would start getting leads from your website. Don't wait for people to go to your contact page and then fill the form. That's not going to happen that easily. But if you have visitors coming onto your site and you put a top bar there is some offer which you have. If you don't have one, please create one, right? And then that traffic otherwise will not get converted if you don't have the top bar on your website. So harness the value of top bar. It's a great way to convert visitors into lead. Ebook is another offer. So ebook is a great way to package and share your knowledge with your potential audience, right? So you know a certain topic, certain area, and you go ahead and basically put that in an ebook format and share it with your audience. So great way to get leads from that and share the knowledge which you have. It's a unique marketing tool, right? It is, if you see the ebook format, the way it has been developed, it is not really selling anything. It's primarily related to sharing information, and in a subtle way you do the sales, but you're not really assertive, or you're not selling for selling anything. So great way to reach out your name in front of a lot of people. At the same time, you're not really selling it to them. Then you can, if you've seen certain ebooks, also our LeadSquared ebooks, we try to give follow-through action. We try to create follow-through actions from the ebooks, which basically means that if you have external links inserted in your ebooks, for example, on the last page, in most of the ebooks by LeadSquared, you would see in the last page, you would have a sign for free trial button or the link. Now, what it basically does is, if you are served with the ebook, and you click on it, you get the lead from that. Now, the first question would be, how would that happen in first case? Because you already have the ebook, right? So the way it works is, you have other social sharing icons you can put in the ebook, which basically encourages your existing leads. So let's say if you have a lead in the system and they got your ebook, it has social sharing icons in it, which links to the landing pages. So what you do is, your lead, if the lead likes your ebook and wants to share it around, they will go ahead and click that link and say, guys, I've got this cool ebook, I'm reading it, it's fun. And then that link gets shared on their relevant social network, which links to the landing page. So if the followers or people who are connected with that individual looks at that that link, they come to the landing page and fill the form. So you see, this is how you basically generate leads, right? From providing external links. Plus, you provide deeper engagement. So you already have an ebook; it's being read through. On the last page, it says take certain action, which is like sign up for free trial. So you have downloaded my ebook, but you have not taken my trial. So I'm encouraging you to take the trial. Now, these are the best practices. First of all, your ebook need to be discovered. So, it has to be shared. You need to put that on your blog. You need to put it on your top bar if there is, if you're using that if this is an offer you have, put it on your top bar on the website. Your title of the ebook should clearly spell the value or benefit offered to the reader. It's easier for the ebook to be downloaded if it is clear what it is inside the ebook, what to expect. Ideally, it should relate to your business so that you drive relevant leads, right? So if your business, if our business, let's say, is providing marketing software, then most of our ebooks you would see are around talked about online lead generation, or how to utilize a certain channel, and so on and so forth. So basically, most of our customers are doing that. So that's why we are creating those ebooks, so that they are happy and interested to trade their contact information with us. You can convert ebooks into flipbooks and make it easier to share and consume on mobile. Then you can use hyperlinks and CTAs in the ebook to drive deeper engagement. And then you can, this is what I was talking about when I said in the icons you can include in your ebook, and link these icons to the landing pages, so that if this ebook is downloaded, if shared, then this link is shared, which is linked to the landing page, which has a form basically. Another offer is a webinar. Most of you who are joined would appreciate this offer because it's a concrete offer. Just give me a sec, please. Sorry about that. So another offer is the webinar offer. Most of the folks who have joined today would appreciate the webinar offer, and how it helps generate leads, right? So most of our webinar offers we also promote on the top bar, and so any visitor who comes in on our website through organic or socials or any other sources would find this offer there, and they may join it, and by virtue of that we generate a lot of leads. We've seen that webinar generation, webinar lead generation is usually lower cost per lead, and it has a higher level of engagement with the potential clients. If somebody is taking out half an hour to listen to you, to sort of see what you're saying, that is a very high level of engagement with your potential customers. It's a great way to engage your clients on a very low cost. Most of the people who are willing to offer their 1 hour or half an hour to listen to somebody, are obviously interested in that subject. So there is a targeted audience out there, right? So that's not easy to gather by most by a lot of other mediums. So that's pretty unique about webinar. Then webinar can not only be done live, but you can rebroadcast them, or you can put them on your website in an on-demand fashion. So a lot of leads we generate from our website are also webinars which we have recorded in the past are uploaded on our website, and anybody can who wants to download that webinar or want to access it will basically share their contact information and get that webinar from us. It's a lot easier for people to participate. As you would notice, you can participate in a webinar sitting in your own offices or at your home or wherever you are, right? It's easy. You don't have to travel in most cases, so that makes it pretty user friendly. You're able to go out, you have a wider reach. You may attract participants across probably across the world for joining your webinars. And there are no boundaries of geography, right? So some of the best practices of webinar, obviously the topic has to be compelling to your audience, for which they're willing to share their contact information, and if it's compelling, you'll get more registrations. Then webinar landing pages should talk about who the speaker is, what are the topic that you want to cover, and give an overview of why somebody should join, which basically means the benefits for them. And then duration, date, as in how long the webinar is going to be, what date it is, what time it is, and also mention the time zone. It's just that a lot of people get confused if it's an Indian time zone or Eastern time zone or whatever, so do mention that. Then it's a best practice to send registration confirmation email and remind the participants. In most cases, this will be taken care by the webinar software you would be using. This piece is handled automatically by the software. A good idea would be to do joint sessions. Now, the good idea is not to do joint session really. The good idea is to get the companies or individuals who are respected in their field or who know that area, and they offer a compelling value or experience to your audience. So bring them on to a session and let them talk about what they know. So the audience would be interested to listen to them, and by virtue of that, you are basically going to get registrations and leads. Then a good practice is after the webinar is done, you basically send the recordings to both the people who attended as well as who could not find time to attend. And any questions would have been discussed during the session. Those can be the question and answers can be posted on a blog post or some other area where, for the benefit of the audience, they can go and refer there, or any future anybody coming from the webs from your organic search may also find those questions interesting. So it's great. It's a good idea to sort of share that. Then this one is interesting. So it's really a quasi offer answering questions in community sites like Quora or Yahoo Answers or those sites. It's a quasi offer, and I'll tell you why it's a quasi offer. So quasi offer meaning it's really not a direct offer like an ebook or webinar, but it's an offer which you are willing to do and which you're willing to provide to your audience in return of potential future likelihood of getting a lead. So how does it work? So there's an audience out there asking a question. You basically answer that question on that site, right? Then you expect that obviously the question, once the question is answered, the audience who is asking the question may be a potential customer for you, may not be. If it is not a potential customer, let's say, you can still answer the question in the hope that anybody coming in and looking at a similar question would find you answering that question first, and if they do, they might look at your site, or you'd get a traffic from that. And believe me, you get a lot of traffic like that. We have got a lot of traffic like that, and I've seen other companies doing the same thing, and they get a lot of traffic like that. And then if you get traffic, this lead can be converted into a lead for you for any other offer, right? Now the important thing is why it is a quasi offer. basically it doesn't give you a lead immediately, right? But first, the audience who is out there asking question can become your potential lead by, so you would know them by answering that question, and they would appreciate if the answer is good enough. Plus, anybody who's reading that is likely to, because they've read your stuff out there, and what you offer is a lot of value because it's been in regards to a question, so that value has been delivered not only the person who's asking the question, but anybody who looks to that answer in future. And if they find it interesting and useful, they may turn back to you for anything which you offer on around your business, right? So that's a great way to. So it's really not an direct offer; it's a quasi offer in that sense to generate leads. Now, some of the best practices out here is, so obviously it's important to provide well-informed answer, no spam, obviously, and if you have to add to the question with certain additional information, feel free to do so. You may know a little bit more about the subject than the person who's asking the question, for sure, and so you may give another perspective or potential pitfalls, or if they're asking for comparison, then for a certain product or service, then you may want to write how to purchase a product or service. So whatever is in your experience, but important thing is to note that it doesn't have to be self-promoting in nature. It is not a sales pitch you're giving there. It's really you're satisfying a query. So you need to make sure whatever you're saying, if you're promoting, it has to be super subtle, right? Then a lot of times people ask, how long should be the answer? I mean, it is important to note that answer length is not that important. What is there in the content in your answer is more important. And if it is, and whether it's relevance and whether it satisfies the question being asked there. Now, while you're answering the question, you may insert links which may point to additional information around that question. And these links can point to your blog, to your website, or any other offer which you feel is relevant to that person, to that question. That's a good way so that you get the traffic from there. You don't have to give all the time the website, your own website link. If you find there is another ebook or something else which offers more value to the user, to the question asker, you can refer that. Follow the topics which are relevant or of interest to you. You will obviously know who is asking. You'll discover questions by virtue of doing so. And then share your question and answers on social sites to gain index, to gain ranking, right? White paper is another offer which is again being used a lot by businesses. So it is a detailed authoritative sort of report which talks about a particular industry issue or highlights a problem and gives a solution or ways of solving or addressing that problem. It shares insights or knowledge a business or individual has in that subject, and it demonstrates the value or the thought leadership of the company in that area. Then a lot of times you would have seen that white papers are generally done by the research firms, like if you're a B2B in technology, you would probably know the names like Gartner and Forrester and all those guys. But if you're in a different sector, I'm sure there are companies in each sector which are providing that the research services. Now, if you are in, mostly the white papers are done in partnership with such firms because they have a lot of data, and that's their business basically. So if you partner with them, it becomes a lot credible. What you're saying is being backed by or talked about by another a business who is known, or the company who is known in that business. So it gives a wider acceptance to that sort of a white paper. Otherwise, it may sometimes sound like a brochure of your company because you may end up just talking about yourself. So that it would no more be a white paper, it will be like a brochure. So that is another thing on the white paper. Quick on the best practices. So the title of the white paper should resonate with your audience. Obviously, it should have the text in it which makes sense for the audience, right? You should have enough tables or charts or whatever visually appealing elements in the white paper to make it easier for the for the reader to consume the white paper. You restrict your language and jargon, whatever you write, which is appropriate to the audience. So obviously it won't make sense to other people, but anybody who's in the industry where your white paper is targeted, it would make sense. Then you may want to add certain information or some other research maybe which have been quoted or done outside in your in your white paper. Now this could be backed by reputable sources, and this particular thing which you may be quoting from outside adds more credence to what you're trying to explain in the white paper. So do quote that, so it will basically give a lot of credibility to what you're trying to convey. Then another kind of offer is a quiz, and most people will be familiar with this. So it's a great way to engage the audience, right? Quizzes are a great way to engage audience. Not used a lot by businesses, but it's a great way. It's a very great and cost-effective way to engage the audience. It's not very difficult and expensive to set up and run a quiz. And if you have quizzes posted on your blog and website, you basically increase the retention of the visitor on your website, which is a good thing because they spend more time on your site, and you have the opportunity to interact with them and learn about them. Obviously a quiz can be a long one, like a survey which goes on for minutes or hours sometimes. So a quiz, if you want the participant to complete the quiz, try to restrict into fewer questions so that you have higher completion rates. And if you can structure a quiz in a way that it has only binary answers like true, false, yes, no, it's easier and quicker for people to complete the quiz. If there is a question which can be posed by a picture or some sort of rich media, then take advantage of that. It will be easier and more engaging for participants to consume that sort of quiz. Ideally, you should get the results of the quiz with the lead capture, and that's the whole point, right? You want to create an offer which is a quiz in the hope that you will capture the lead. So you need to make sure you have that mechanism in place. And then if you have optimized your quizzes for the if you're hosting a quiz on the website, and if you optimize the keywords, stuff like that properly, then there is a high likelihood that you would attract the traffic. Now I'll give an example here of that. So I'll just go there. We did help one of the companies do that, and you'll see how that works. Okay, cool. So you see this 1, 2, 3, 4. This blog has got 4 ranks on top 4 for this keyword. I think you can, by now you would understand the power of quiz now. I don't want to explain this any further, right? So that's what you can do with quizzes. Let's go to another offer, which is a free product trial. Okay. So if you have a product which can be offered for free for a limited duration, that becomes your free product trial. Now there are companies who also offer free plans, which means that the offer continues forever as long as you want to use it, and they won't charge you for, and the usage may be restricted. So that is another offer. So it's in this sort of a similar league. So how does free trial work, right? So free trial helps you, the marketer, drive new leads into the marketing funnel. So you get new leads if you have free trial. If you don't have, you don't get, you probably lose on getting those leads. So for certain businesses, it is important to have those, the free trial offer. So first, it helps you, the marketer, generate the leads for their marketing funnel. Then if you offer free trial, and if it's, let's say if you're a younger company, you've not been there long in the market, or if it's a young product, it's just being beta launch or whatever, and if you're offering a free trial, you get a lot of valuable feedback from the users of the product. Because it's free, it may appear so that it is free, but actually it is not, right? Because you are offering it for free, but the person who's using it is investing time in it. So if it's not free in that sense, right? So if somebody is giving looking at the product and giving you feedback, there is some value, a lot of value attached to it. Then if it's a software product or something which you can analyze while the user is using the product, then you can also see what elements of the product are being of interest to the users and which features are not being used by them at all. Now this is going to give you an idea, okay, this part of the product is of value, of use, and the other is not, and then you can, your product management can look at that and say, well, I see interest in this area, and so it basically helps the product management to see what to build, and if you have to fix anything which is already built. So obviously the quick best practices, you have to automate the free trial registration process. We learned that we did not have an automated registration process earlier. We fixed that in December, so now anybody can just get a free trial by going to the website. Earlier it was always a call with a salesperson. Then you should, if you have a free trial option, highlight that, right? Don't hide it anywhere down on the website. Put that on the first page above the fold or anywhere else on the website. Make it very, very visible. You can, you should state the trial duration, so anybody who's taking the trial knows what they're getting into. If you're not asking for the credit card, please mention it, right? Because a lot of times, trial, you have to. In some cases, if you require a credit card or something like that, then you may restrict a lot of people from getting into the trial. So if you don't need a credit card, then mention it. Otherwise, a lot of people may perceive that there would be some fishy thing after I submit in, so they may restrict from giving that information. So do mention this. Then if you have a online demo or a video explaining your product, then there is a likelihood that if anybody is submitting for a free trial after they've looked at your demo or your video, there is a high likelihood that the lead which you're getting from the trial is relevant, right? And I would recommend, again, this is really a question for the business to decide, really, and the type of business you are in. But for businesses where if your product requires an assistant, some sort of assistance in setup and getting started, then you should basically provide some support in the area of helping customer get started. Otherwise, free trial will have no value, because if you take a free trial, nobody does anything, and the free trial just gets wasted. So do offer support if obviously customer is willing to take the support. If they don't even email you back or they have no questions, then there is no question of support. But if they're interested in evaluating it, then do provide support, because as I said earlier, anybody who's taking even a free trial is investing their own time, and their time is of value, and if they're choosing to invest on taking a free trial, it means something, and you should help them basically. Then you have a free consultation session. This is going to be relevant and interesting for services business or training businesses who offer courses. Before anybody signs up or pays up, they may want to know a little bit more about how do you conduct your what sort of knowledge you have for your services business. If it's a training business, then what kind of quality of teacher, what's how do you conduct the class, whatever. So that sort of stuff can be a good offer. Again, it drives new leads in the marketing funnel. The interesting thing, which is different from product in a way, is that you get the opportunity to interact with your potential customers and assess their needs and requirements. In services business, you always, a lot of businesses would go and say we do A, B, and C things, right? But when you talk to the customer, they may have a need which is not A, B, and C, something else. And it's very hard to assess, even though you may fulfill the need which they have, but you won't know unless you talk to them, unless they express their need. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to understand the customer needs so that you can appropriately position your business. And the same is true for businesses like training businesses. If you get to interact with if you're able to drive the footfall in your office, that itself is a huge thing, because then your salespeople and consultants get the opportunity to interact with the customer and understand their needs so that they can offer them something which may be of interest to them from a closing perspective. In a lot of cases, you may collect the feedback during this whole process, and it may help you even modify your offerings if your offerings are not very standard, to tailor to the market needs basically. Now, if you are running a free consultation offer, make sure you have a auto response email set up after somebody signs up. It gives a very good impression, and first like a good impression of responsive and prompt, the party who signed up would, once they get an immediate email, they will feel that this company or this individual is very responsive, and most people appreciate that, believe me. If you need additional information, from the lead who signed up for the consultation, then you may send them a list of questions for them to respond to or fill up before you go into the session. That way you can provide more additional, deeper and additional value for the lead before otherwise you'll have to ask the same questions again. So if they fill in, you may provide them best value as much as possible from what from based on the questions they may be asking. Now, if you have a mechanism to collect the feedback, right? So after the session is done, you may want to send a simple survey with 3 or 4 questions saying, how did the session go? Was it valuable? Yes, no, whatever. Something simple, so that if the user gives you valuable feedback, their feedback, you would know whether it was actually whether you delivered the value in that session or not, right? Since you've already invested so much time in the free consultation, I think it won't hurt, and there are a lot of tools available for you to do that. So it's not that technology is going to prohibit you. It's a lot of inexpensive tools are out there which you can use basically for this purpose. Now again, you need to say that it's a no obligation. Otherwise, in a lot of countries, it is perceived that if you do not write no obligation, there is certain obligation, which is that you'll get a bill, right? You'll get an invoice. So if it is not the case, then you mention it that it's no strings attached or no obligation sort of offer. A research report is again an interesting and a detailed offer, which is being used a lot. A research report basically is a sort of presentation of facts and interpretation or analysis of the research outcome from a research study. So you may partner with a research firm and do a study and publish the findings, based on the facts which you have seen, and interpreting the facts and analyzing them from your perspective. So there are facts. Research collects data, and then you organize the data, put it in a format which is easy to consume by the audience, and then you put analysis in that. It helps the audience learn about the trends and use the learnings. So let's say we did a report with one company a month or 2 ago where we did pay-per-click marketing related study. Now, in that study, there were a lot of questions which were asked to the participants. Things like how much is your budget, what do you foresee spending in 2014, then what type of business you are in, what in PPC, what do you find more difficult, what do you find more easy, and that sort of questions. Now, anybody who's reading that would find, okay, if I'm B2C and so type of business, then I spend at least $10,000 a year or $100,000 a year in ad spend. For me, running a display ads is always more difficult than running a search ad, that sort of stuff. So if you are a marketer doing PPC, it's a great value for you, and you would say, okay, let me look at this report. Let's see what this offers. Let's see, what other marketers are doing, what my peers are doing in the business. And so it is great for the audience. It's really helpful for them to understand what the trends are and learn from those trends. So research topics need to be, so best practices for that. So research topic needs to be useful and of value to your audience, obviously. And then they need to be relevant to your business. Otherwise, if you're a software company, you don't want to do a research on how juices are consumed in North Karnataka, for example, right? That's of no value to your to my business, for example. Then use research data to present the business case. Now, if you have a business case present using the research data, feel free to do so. So if you want to show that ad spend is increasing among a certain category of advertisers, then you may pick the sorry about that. So if you have a business case to present using the research data, feel free to do so. But it is important that you do not change the facts, because facts is what you collect using, and it doesn't. Otherwise, the whole research is of no value if you change the basis of it. Then often research are data centric. It will be data centric by and large. So it'll be good. It'll be good idea to explain the data in simple language, right? If there are a lot of charts and graphs and bars, diagrams and pie charts and stuff, if they, some of them may not make a lot of sense, because if you fill the research with like 15-20 pages of tables and data, somebody will just get lost. So if there are important and crisp findings of the report, then you can highlight that in simple English to explain that, so the audience understand, okay, this is what it means basically, right? And that's the analysis part. Then if you're using any third-party data in the report, please mention it. It's a best practice to give credit to whoever has contributed to the report. Then these are just some of the things which you should have in the report. Okay, discounts. Well, I'm sure everybody knows that, so I'm just going to talk about the best practices here. So discount offer should be time bound. So if you're offering a discount to anybody, make sure it is time bound, right? There is always a chance that if you offer a discount and it's time bound, people consume the discount offer quickly. It should be perceived as good value to drive interest. I mean, if you are offering 0.5% discount on purchase of iPad, it doesn't make sense, right? So you should have something on the table which is perceived as good value. It cannot have a very small value, otherwise there won't be any interest in the offer. And you typically use discounts to close a sale, or if you're a B2C business, liquidate an inventory. If you're education or training business, then fill the seats, right? If you're running a bus service, then fill the seats, right? Or there's a competition out there who's introduce an aggressive offer in the market, you have to match the offer, so that's why you would do so. Or if you're not able to close the deals in a particular month or a quarter, then you want to meet the financial goal, so you want to say, okay, this is what I'm going to offer if you just take it, basically. So you have a financial goal or a certain target, like I said, about filling the class or whatever, to fill the to basically achieve that. Then giveaways is something which you basically offer for free. So giveaways are marketing offers of direct value to the user. So it is not, it is basically considered, you can say, as a direct monetary value which you're giving to the user or to the lead. So it's a gift card, a coupon, whatever, something of that nature. Now it is being used by businesses in a variety of ways, right? So if you have a new product to launch, or you want to get somebody to participate in a survey, most people find the surveys are boring, right? And it's hard for anybody to fill the survey if you get a $100 coupon or $50 coupon or $20 coffee coupon. You might, let's say, okay, I'm going to join. And it's just a good way to say thank you also, if you really see. Or if there's something coming up, you want to drive new footfalls to a new mall, for example, or there's a new product which is coming up, not many people know about it, you want more and more users to try or encourage them to try. So that for that sort of stuff you can use giveaways. Then as I said, it's a great way for businesses to say thank you to their customers, right? If you're a business which interact on a regular basis, like your customers buy from you month on month, so obviously they know you, but you may use occasions, could be New Year or whatever, something like that, to thank them for their business and stay top of mind. If you're a business who sell to a customer only a few times a year, again, this is a great way to stay top of the mind. So it's really not a lead generation in the last point sense, but it's in some ways, staying the top of mind, because a customer who may have bought from you earlier, if you don't go back to them again, they won't buy from you. So in some ways, it's like a loyalty thing. Quick, best practices. It has to have, again, enough value to be attractive to the audience. Oh, this is the wrong line. I should have deleted this. Giveaways have certain budget allocated. It is too good. If it's too good, then you may run you run the risk of exhausting them. So you can mention that it is for limited time or for limited number of first 500 or 100 people. That sort of stuff. Because you may not, if your giveaway is really good, maybe everybody will just go and take it, right? So if somebody tells you there's a 50% off on iPads, I'm sure you would see a long line, for taking that offer, and it may, you will probably won't have those many iPads to give. When the giveaway is winding down, right? If let's say it's coming to it's a limited time offer, for example, you may want to just let the people know that only so much is remaining. Why don't you just take it? And it may help you, close the remaining giveaway in there, because people perceive that it is running out and they may sort of jump in to take that offer. Then always ensure you collect the lead before handing over the giveaway. Otherwise, the whole idea of giveaway will be lost, because the purpose of it is to collect the lead information. If you share the giveaway, you get more parties to get it. So that's a good practice anyway. Quick on what are the cost of creating each offer. As you can see, the blog is medium to high, so it takes time and it takes people to write it. And if you're really writing high quality blog, you may also need not only the folks who write the blog, but also the creative people who create images. So otherwise the blog will look very dull. So you need good images and good writers. Then webinar is again you can say it's low to medium or medium to high, depending on how often you do it and what's the content of the webinar. But I would say it's medium cost. So you have to run the webinar, you have to do preparation before the webinar, you have to do work after the webinar, editing the videos, and all that sort of stuff is there. So that's webinar. Q&A and answering Q&A sites is low to medium. I mean, depending on how much you want to invest. If you want to answer all the questions in the world, obviously that's not possible. That's going to be very expensive. So if you have a couple of people, or just a few people answering those questions one off, then it's not a whole lot of cost there. But there is no cost as such to write, because it's one off thing. One can so depending on how you plan to work on this particular offer, you can choose the cost. White paper is generally medium to high, and if you are using third party, then obviously there will be cost associated with it. Quiz are low to medium. If you know the subject well, then you can draft the quiz yourself and put it. Software to run the quiz are not that expensive. Even there are free stuff available too, which you can take advantage of. Ebooks, medium to high, you need a lot of preparation. You need to read the ebooks. You need to make sure the graphical elements are there. The copy editing of the ebook, and so on and so forth. The giveaways again could be medium to high, because marketing the giveaway is also going to be a cost. Product free trial is usually low to medium if you just limit to the software, or if you're looking at other products, it may be a medium to high. But if we just take the software or products which are in that category, would be low to medium. Research reports are definitely going to be medium to high. Free consultations are low to medium. You spend half an hour or 45 minutes explaining listening to the party. And discounts are again low to medium, and also a function of what you're offering there, basically. These are the channels which you can use to promote each of the offer. So I know this is going to be a lot of stuff here, so it's better you can read this through when we send the PPTs. So that's your marketing channels. So that's it. That's all I had today to cover. And this is an example of the concluding slide, right? So this is going to further drive the engagement if this is part of the ebook, for example. So I just wanted to put this here so that I can just show this slide to everybody. And this is your social sharing icons. So that's all I had to cover today. Happy to take questions now, and then we can go from there. So let the questions come in. Okay, and there's one question coming in. Yes, Abhilash, please tell me your question. Rajdeep also has a question. Okay, let me see if I can let you speak up. Hold on.
Hello?
Yeah, Abhilash, tell me.
Hello? Yeah, hi Nilesh. Nilesh, my question was in the slide number 14, you have mentioned that we can put any of the like link of our landing page or the website so that people can read the answer and come back to our website. So is it like worth doing, like if we are putting answer and then we are putting a landing page link over there, so it's kind of an indirect selling which we are doing? Like people will definitely don't check it because they'll see like he's answering just because he want to sell over here.
Good point. See, the way it works is as long as it's not a direct offer. So let's look at it like this, right? if somebody is asking a question on, and I'm just taking an example which we have, looked at and done. So if somebody is asking a question around, okay, how to do Google Plus marketing, or what to do in Google Plus marketing. Now, my team member who is addressing that question has two options. One, she will go and explain how to do Google Plus marketing in like 10,000 words to answer. Not feasible, right? So what you would do is you just highlight 2 or 3 points and say, well, we have written an ebook on this subject. If you'd like, go and access it here. So you're not saying that buy from me. You're just answering that question. And so it is indirect in a lot of sense. At the same time, if whatever you are preceding with that, has some credibility built in, then they would be happy to check it. And we have been able to successfully generate leads like that. However, if you directly sell it, and maybe if somebody's saying, explain me how this works, and you say, go and read this ebook, and they may perceive that, okay, he's trying to sell me or collect my lead. But if you answer it in a way that it is not directly soliciting, then there's a high likelihood that you would be able to capture that into a lead.
Okay. Nilesh, one thing I also want to ask you, like in the third way of getting the leads, which you have mentioned, is the webinar. So by doing all the activities, let's suppose we have received a great number of registrations, like we have got all the details and everything, all the contacts of that particular lead, but at the time of the webinar, only, let's suppose, 200 registrations and only 30 people have joined us in the webinar. So like, can we call those 200 as our leads, because they might have a requirement and that's why they have registered with us, but due to some reason they haven't attended the webinar?
Yes. See, the way it works, if you see, there are two parts to it. One is somebody who is registered. So the first work which is being done is to help for you to get those first 200 names. Now, how many people attend is always a secondary question, and there are other ways to increase the registration, the attendance. But the first and foremost is webinar was able to get you 200 participants, 200 names. Now, these people would not trade their names unless they are interested in the topic which you're talking. Correct. And one thing we have to all understand is not everybody is up to buying all the time. There are various researchers out there which says that at any point of time, typically in a B2B scenario, only 15 to 20% of the market is in the buying state. So you don't expect people to buy at the time you are selling, right? So what is important is once you collect the lead, you have the opportunity to sell them in future. That opportunity is what webinar presented you in the first place. Once you have that, then they may not join this one, maybe the next one. Make sense?
And is it feasible, like we are hosting a webinar in this particular week, and then again on the next week we are hosting a different kind of a webinar, and then we again send them a request along with the new people? So
yeah, why not? I mean, we do that. We have been, except for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we have been consistently doing webinars every week, by and large. And we feel people coming. Obviously, less people participate in webinars because after a certain time they may find the topic is getting repeated. So yeah, as I said, it is a function of how much work you are willing to do. If you can find a fresh topic every week, I mean, there are takers for it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Nilesh. That's all done from my side.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's take. I've got another question here. What should be the price range of giveaways in wellness industry, for example? Rajdeep, I won't have the answer right now, but I think a good way to look at this, because I don't know the ticket size, I think you should really look at from the ticket size perspective, and some math you may want to do in terms of, let's say, if you do 10 giveaways or 100 giveaways, how many people first of all take it? So that is the first goal. First, you should have takers for your giveaway, and then once you have the takers, then how many of those takers actually convert into business? So you have to, unless you run it, you won't know. So you need to really try it out and find out what actually works for your industry. And I'm sure there are people in your industry who would have tried this, would be the best people to answer. isn't what works. But I think the fundamental thing is, if the giveaway should be targeted to the audience which are likely to be your potential customers. So if you're targeting, let's say, adults between 35 and 50, then make sure you give it to only them, right? Because those are the only guys who are going to pay for it. So maybe you can look at from that perspective, because poor targeting also will cost you money. At the same time, will not result in yield into business result, letting you think that this giveaway did not work. So targeting of getting the right audience is also going to be very very important. Then I've got Ravi Shah. She is asking, can I access the webinar video after webinar gets over? Absolutely. We will have it available to you in probably 2 to 4 days. Mostly we say 4 days, so we'll get you available in 4 days. Okay. I think we have hit the hourly limit here. Thank you all for participating in this. I don't see any more questions here on the pan, and we'll look forward to see you in the next session. Thank you all and have a good day and a good weekend.